Hi, and welcome again to yet another episode of Online Education. Hi, thank you for coming in. We're going to restart this whole conversation with Ms. Deepa Gilani. You know, the internet doesn't really work well, and if you have even a very powerful 20 Mbps speed going on your Wi Fi router, it just doesn't work. So I got to work on a hotspot mode and use my hotspot rather than the internet. Just a little tip. Okay, so hopefully we're going to get this started again, and Deepa ma'am is going to log in right now. This is my space with Michelle Gonzalez, and we look forward to an uninterrupted 1 hour with her once again. Let me just have her here. She's right here. Let's get her on. I've told her to use her hotspot, so hopefully things work. Oh yeah. Wow. Just does not seem to get her on. I'm going to try again. Oh ma'am, we're really going to pray that this works right now. Please accept our request.
Oh. Yes. Oh, thank God. Finally, I'm in. Thank God.
You know, even in this technology, even in the world of technology, we gotta be saying, thank God, thank God.
Yeah, I think that this is the thing of the technology that we have to be highly dependent on the internet as such.
like that. Okay, fantastic, guys. Welcome to my space. We are here speaking about online education with none other than Miss Deepa. She is the principal of Pinnacle High International School, and we just asked her our first question on the advantages and disadvantages of online learning from the school's perspective. So, ma'am, would you give us a quick run through, please, on that? Wow, and I seen that her video is buffering once again. Can you hear her by any chance? Wow, this is so much of fun. It's a Saturday evening and we're all geared up to listen to Deepa Gilani. And somehow the internet is really ditching her. I feel like really doing this. But I'm going to try again. Guys, if you're watching this, let's hope this really goes through with ma'am's internet, okay? Okay, she sent me a request and I'm accepting it. It's a bad day with her internet because she's unable to accept the request and come in. She's getting disconnected every time she's getting on. She's trying again. Absolutely, sweetie. This happens with the kids too while they're studying online. Again, the same problem. Somehow, your internet has to be really strong when you're trying something out. So, I think it's a lesson for all of us to know that if you're doing something live, you need to check 100 times what works best. And I don't think the Wi-Fi really works. It's so much more with your data plan, which works so much better. I'm going to try again, guys. I'm going to try again, inviting her.
Oh, so now I'm having better internet connection.
Yes, ma'am. I think we always make sure the internet connection works. Before we go back and before anything, let's get on to my next question. Um, you were amidst this question that how easy or difficult it has been for the staff in the bandwidth to train them to the new teaching method.
Yeah, Michelle, I think so. I missed your question. If you can say it again, please.
Ma'am, you were amidst this answer, this response, when you were telling us how difficult it has been for you to train your people into this new training methodology. You were mentioning that it was easier with a younger brood of teachers than the older ones, and how you want to continue with that.
Yeah, I tell you one thing, as I told you, see, again, we did a lot of training with the teachers, and I'm really, very happy they've come up to a certain level. Yes, I said it was easier with the younger teachers. The reason being they are born into the technological world. But at the same time, all the teachers were very eager to learn. And when you are passionate about something, I think so, you always find a way out. Okay, so I think so, we did a wonderful job with it.
Perfect. Okay. Now, if we open a month for online, how do you think children are accepting it, or do you think parents are a hindrance or an impediment to this entire online teaching?
I would not say hindrance. Okay, as we discussed, children are doing absolutely fine. Okay, with parents, I would not say hindrance, but yes, there was in the initial stage, there was hesitation. Okay, there was anxiety. Okay, please understand anything which is new comes with unknown fear. Okay, whenever you get a child to a new setup, they will start crying. When we change a job or change a city, there is always this fear of unknown. Okay, so there was a little bit hesitation that how this thing will go around. Okay, especially yes, pre-primary parents had little bit thing like my child will not sit at one place. Okay, so see there was few problems which we came across. We worked on it. We made the parents as the super teachers, because now students are not with the teachers in the class. Okay, so we made them super teachers and they sat with the children and they had a quality time with them. They also were learning with them. Okay, so they also had a great time. But again, initial stage, see, I think so the onus was on me as the school, okay, to get them into the comfort zone and get them into my fold as such. Okay, so we worked with the parents, we worked with the teachers, and we went ahead with our journey. And yes, today we have reached somewhere, not I would say 100%, but yes, we are still on the way, this, as you say, education is always an ongoing learning. So for the teachers also, it is ongoing learning as such.
Okay. So, ma'am, do you think this has passed the litmus test, or are we all waiting to run back into our classrooms?
Oh, how I wish it would have been so easy like litmus test. You just put a drop and you get the result. Okay, we are dealing with students, we are dealing with people. So it is never easy. There is lot of trial and error. I've been in the school since last 10 years. Okay, so we are doing the tried and tested method in the school for so many days. Okay, so many years. But this was a new situation for us as well. But as I said, yes, we tried. See, when you try, then only you can succeed. Okay, so we are still trying. We tried in the past. There are a few things which did not work out. Okay, so we changed our strategy. We again came back, and yes, we worked as collaborators with the parents. Okay, without them, we would not have been successful. We still will not be successful if parents don't cooperate with us. Okay, because right now kids are with them at home. Okay, so we can just pass on the instruction, but what happens at home, it depends upon the parent. Okay, and yes, parents have done a superb job, and I really thank everyone who's present on this forum. Yes, because of you all, we have been successful to an extent. It is still ongoing journey. Okay, there will be still hiccups will be there. It was there in the past as well, but yes, together I think so we will be able to go ahead in life, because this is going to stay. We don't know how long, right? So we can't stop the learning. We have to work together as a team. find a way out and go ahead.
Perfect. Ma'am, what about evaluations, examinations? What is the plan for how would you evaluate the children during this time?
Yeah, trust me, this was the biggest concern in my mind. Because, see, teaching is still easy because, with so many learning apps, Byju's and Vedantu and all, I think so it was gaining market in India also, right? So we had certain idea that, okay, this is the way we can do it. But assessment is not that easy. And I was really surprised to know that there are so many, softwares that are available online for online assessment also. We, as I said, me, my teachers, my coordinators, everybody did a lot of research. There are apps like Google Form, Kahoot, then exam.net, Gretoscope. There are so many softwares where you can conduct online assessment also. And yes, of course, we came out with some novel ideas also, because with pre-primary kids, it might not work out. They will not know what to do, and finally, parents only will end up appearing for the exam. Okay, so that is not what we want. So then we came up with some novel ideas. Maybe we have children speaking a couple of lines, or just joining the dots, or something like a very simple assessment for them, where we can at least gauge whether they've learned something or no. As for the higher grades, paper has to be written. English paper you can't take online, right? And again, even if I take online, in the real exam, those who are appearing for the board exams, grade 8, grade 10, they have to write paper and we have to give them practice. So we have come up with this plan where we make small groups of children, where one teacher is invigilating how we do it in the class. They write the paper, immediately they scan it in front of us and send it across. Okay, so there are so many different ways we have tried. Okay, again, it is still the time for the assessment has not come, because we have just started teaching. June was for the children to settle down. Okay, July was to pass on the instruction. Now I think so in August month we will start with the assessment. Okay, then only we will come to know that how much successful we have been.
Thank you for that. Ma'am, could this move to online learning be a catalyst to create a more effective method of educating students?
See, to be very honest with you, Michelle, what I firmly believe, yes, there can be disagreement on that also. What I firmly believe is that online learning cannot replace classroom learning. Okay, the human touch is really missing. Okay, what you learn with your peers, with your teachers, with people around. Okay, that cannot be done on online learning. But yes, what can really happen if we because now we have started training ourselves for the new system and all that. This online learning can complement along with the classroom teaching. Since now we have learned so many softwares, so many different ways of imparting education, what we can do in future also, not only me, I think so all the schools can do that have classroom teaching with little bit incorporation of online teaching as well. Because see, the foreign countries, you will see a child as small as 3-year-old is very tech savvy. My cousin who stays in US, her child watches all the online videos and he knows how to open it. He knows how to open the school software and he will see what is being sent to me. So of course we have not reached till there. It is very difficult in our country also. But I think so this forced us to rethink, reimagine, re-innovate the ways and education can be imparted to children. So I think so in the near future what I really see, classroom learning will never go away, right? Because the human need each other. That feeling, that emotion, that binding has to be there. That is the best way of passing on the information to the children. Again, as I was discussing with my staff as such, when we reopen, I don't think we'll be able to hug them. That's really going to be so sad. Okay, because giving that pre-primary, lower grades of primary, they welcome their children with a hug. Right? The kids also want to hug us. Okay, when I go for my rounds, they come running to me for hugging. So yes, that has to be changed. And that hug gives you a connection. Okay, the information is available on Google also, Wikipedia also. Okay, what teachers can do is make them more empathetic, make them improve their communication, interpersonal skills. So that is the peers and teachers are very much needed. At the same time, yes, they are very much virtually, able to learn faster. So we, as it is, use it in the class, the videos and like PowerPoints and all that. So yes, we can infuse that also in the classroom teaching. Why not?
Correct. Fine. So, ma'am, do you think online learning will continue to persist even post the pandemic? And how such a shift would impact the school or per se impact the whole world? You think people will continue it even after physical school opens?
No, I don't think so. The lower grades, it is not going to happen. Okay, maybe at the university level, yes, that can happen because those kids are much smarter and much they have improved, they have worked upon their social skills by then. Okay, so completely going online is not advisable at all. Okay, I think so. In my previous question also I answered that human touch has to be there. We are at the end of the day human beings, not robots. Okay, so what, like if the child is not able to understand, the teacher goes to the child and explains it again, keep just putting a hand on the shoulder can never be replaced online. Okay, so but yes, in the higher grades, say university level, definitely it can be very advantageous. Why not?
Okay. Ma'am, now all the schools, irrespective of their board, whether it's an IG school, a CBSE, an ICSE, or whatever school, or an SSC school, e-learning and online learning has now become an equalizer. Everybody is doing online learning in that sense. So is there a way that the school can develop like a niche, like a distinct style of its own that can still set you apart from the rest of them?
Okay, my dear, I don't want to sound too boastful, okay, but I think so. Pinnacle High has its own distinct style of functioning during the regular school also, okay. But yes, this again is a new world for us. So there were novel ideas, and I think so to an extent we have created a distinct style of working online also. Whatever we did in the school when the physical school was there, the same things we have incorporated online also. The learning is not only limited to subjects as such. Okay, we have had events like International Yoga Day, Zumba Day, then I think so Red Day also pre-primary celebrated. Okay, so then there were events like whatever Father's Day was celebrated with a video making competition. So whatever you say, see, these are this, all these things were our USP in the regular school also. There was for pre-primary and primary, we've introduced circle time where they play games, innovative games, learning games. But children don't realize that we are learning. Okay, so through innovative ways, I think so just now last week they did something with puppet. Grade 1, I received few photographs that they are doing something circle time with puppet. Puppet is their friend and how they will talk to that puppet. So I see all these things are very novel ideas. So not only the subject learning, we are still doing a lot of learning beyond curriculum also. So I think so that sets us apart.
Okay, thank you. Okay, ma'am, I also want to ask you, per se the government nods opening, commencing of schools, physical schools. Would you then consider parents' suggestion, or would you go ahead and open the school? And how would you maintain social distancing measures?
Yeah, that's a difficult one, my dear. Okay. See, I'll tell you, these are very highly unprecedented, unexpected, unpredictable times. Okay. I think so. This year, my 10th graders did a wonderful job. I had amazing plans to felicitate them, give a grand farewell. But as you know, man proposes, God disposes. Okay. All the plans are in the dustbin now. So I think so in today's times, we are living in day-to-day existence. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Personally speaking about the schools reopening, I would prefer to work with the government. But at the same time, I will respect parents' sentiment. Okay, if any child intentionally or unintentionally is coming in the harm's way, I will never be able to forgive myself. So see, this, I think so, we will scale the uncharted territory when we reach there. Okay, when the schools are going to reopen, we will see the condition, we will see the situation. But yes, as a school, we are absolutely ready with the social distancing, with the hygiene, with the sanitation. All the plans are set. Okay, so we are ready. But again, I cannot force my ideas on the parents, because at the end of the day, they are going to love their child like nobody else will. So I think so we will work together with the government, with the parents, and we will see at that time what happens.
Perfect. Ma'am, we have a question here. We've seen recently and heard news, we've seen debates and discussions about parents raising issues on reduction of school fees, considering e-learning now. And, what do you think the school's take is on all this,
About online learning,
No, no. A lot of schools, a lot of parents have requested schools to reduce the fees. The fees have become the big talked about question. It's even in the media that a lot of people were requesting schools not to charge high amount of fees or to reduce fees. And schools had their own explanation and probably were not budging from that stance. So, what do you have to say about this?
yeah, that's a bouncer. Can I not answer that question? Okay, yeah, I am otherwise like a very honest person. I don't mince my words. Okay, so I will answer that question. But yes, being on live, I don't want anybody to quote me out of context. Okay, so I just put both the sides of the coin. Okay, see, finally, please understand, education cannot be isolated in school. It is the group teamwork of parents, students, teachers, and the management. Okay, although I'm in that position, sandwiched between all the stakeholders, parents, management, and the teachers, where I have to see well-being of everybody. Because I love them, I worked with them for so many years, so many means, every day, at least 8 hours we spend together. Okay, so how can I not be emotional and think about that? But yes, that is me being an emotional person. Okay, but practically, I'm just putting both the sides of the coin. Okay, parents, I completely understand what they are going through, with finances, money problems. But see, understand this situation. Nobody, even in anybody's wildest dreams, nobody would have thought of a situation like this. So everybody is grappling with so many anxieties. Okay, so many worries as such. Parents, when they put their child in the school, okay, they see the fee structure, they plan out their schedule, that at least for a couple of years, whichever school I'm putting in, how I will be able to work out my finances, okay? But because of this pandemic situation, everything has gone haywire. Everything has gone topsy-turvy. So they are very anxious, which is quite understandable. Okay, so from our end, whatever we can do, we rolled back the fee hike, we gave them monthly option of payment. Whatever we can do from our end, we have done that. Okay, like Smart Class, we are not using, we reduce that amount. But on the other hand, the management also has to run the school. Okay, they also have to see the finances for the next couple of years. Okay, we can't afford to take a decision which will take the school back for 3 years. Okay, they have to pay the salaries, they have to pay the property tax, they have to pay fees to Cambridge, they have to pay for books. Okay, nobody is giving any discount to the school. Not government is giving any discount to the schools. How will they also survive? So they have their unique problems, parents have their unique problems, which nobody had imagined, by the way. Okay, so it's like that. There is a lot of mistrust factor from both the ends, I would say, because as I told you, I'm sandwiched in between. I don't know which side to which side to run away. Okay, but then I can't help it. Okay, so we are trying our best to salvage this situation. And sitting on my chair, I understand what management goes through, what parents are going through, what teachers are going through. Everybody, for them, it is a struggle to survive. Okay, so in that, knowingly, unknowingly, they are harming each other. Okay, but then, yes, as a human race, we have to come out of this alive and well alive. Okay, so I just can keep on praying, thinking like this nightmare will end soon. Just keeping everybody in my prayers. Okay, amen. Everybody's fine at the end of the day.
Perfect. Okay. Parents, if you're watching and if you want any of your questions answered by Principal Deepa ma'am, May I request you to comment in the comment section? Can you type out your questions so that ma'am can answer them? We have the next 15 minutes that we're going to do for questions. So before our internet goes boom again, may I request you to please put your questions down so we can answer them. Ma'am, somebody asked initially that the little younger ones, the government mandate says that it's not imperative for the younger ones to do online, but the schools can, still take their own decision. So, what has Pinnacle decided, and how do you go about teaching the little ones to come online and
Yes,
to
yes,
get educated?
yes. Quite a pertinent question. Okay, the many I can understand what they are also going through. Now, see, the government has not made any rule as such. Okay, that you cannot give an online education to pre-primary. In fact, Karnataka government has come out with an something order that schools can provide education. Schools should provide education. Education is every child's integral right. That is what our constitution also says. See, parents' anxiety, as I told you initially, I can understand. When we also started pre-primary, parents were very anxious. As I discussed earlier, how will they sit? How will they understand? What will they understand? Okay, how much we will have to do? We are also busy. So these questions did come in front of us. But I think so we worked on that. We have gone ahead, and I think so 80 to 90% of the parents will vouch for that it is going quite beautifully. See, parents actually don't understand at pre-primary level. Education is not education for only subjects, the information, the knowledge. Okay, that is the time for them to make them feel give them a normal world also. Now, imagine a junior KG or a senior KG child who has been to school previously, right? And suddenly 3 months they did nothing. And we don't know how many more months are going to come. You need to give them also a normal. See, we are not able to go out of the home. Fine, fair enough. But we are still working from home. We are going out to buy groceries. We are doing all the household chores and everything. So to an extent for them, our life is normal, wherein their life is not, because they are not able to meet their friends, they are not able to go down to play. So that also creates a lot of anxiety in them. Okay, they are not able to voice their opinion, but that does not mean they will not go through all that. Okay, I've studied child psychology, so that tells that, okay, and I think so kids are enjoying. Okay, it's not that. And see, again, coming back to the parents' anxiety that they will spend a lot of time on screen. We did work out giving them offline videos, only half an hour or 1 hour online session is there. That also Sundays and all that we keep fun activities. We just kept a drawing competition also online. Creative writing competition also online. So, that is for, of course, primary. So it is not that bad a situation how we are making it out to be. See, initially all the parents had their anxieties, okay? And of course, parents have every right to voice their opinion the way they want to. But that does not mean the school can work as per the needs or the wishes of every parent, okay? They have to take certain decision keeping majority in mind. Also, we have to think about having a normal life for the child also. Okay, seeing the friends, even if it is virtually, it makes them happy for some time. They know, okay, I'm able to see my friend, I'm able to see my teacher, I'm able to do some fun activities. What a parent might not, actually, parent might not even think of that, okay, I can do this with my child. Okay, so I personally don't think that it is such a big problem. Of course, it varies from person to person. I'm nobody to teach parents what is right for their child or no. But as a school, I think so we did a good job. Okay, so I'm quite okay with it.
Perfect. Okay, ma'am, we have some questions here by our parents. Some of them are very, the internet, like we just experienced such an internet glitch right now.
Yes.
Many a times when students are online, the internet fails, or they lose out 10 minutes and 15 minutes of class, which is so important. How does the school help children in this matter? I mean, because an online, the teacher teaching online per se will not give us a video of that once again. You won't get a video, and the child has lost 15 minutes. How do you have a plan in place?
Yeah. See, these instances are very rare. Of course, we faced it. Everybody must be facing some or other time. Okay, but we don't face it every time. Okay, so whatever is lost, maybe they can approach the teacher and clarify it again, or ask the students and clarify it again. It happens in the class also. They go to washroom and like teaching is going on, or something is happening. So see, these things, these kind of disruptions happen in regular class also. Okay, so internet is a problem for everybody, right? Right now it happened with us, so we can't find out any solution for that, right? So yes, we have strong internet, and I think so. This problem we have to bear, and we have to go ahead. What else we can do? Because recording everything and giving will not be again a solution. Then again, students will take it very lightly and will not attend the lectures. Will not attend the online session thinking that, okay, I am going to get it. See, there is something called discipline also. Okay, now as it is we are at home, as it is we are not able to have regular school, physical school. On the top of that, we give them too many of leeways, too much of freedom. That is also not going to work out. Getting me? So giving a video is also not going to be a solution. So I think so we just can hope internet works well and we come out of this very soon.
Okay. Also, there is a parent, Sheetal Kapoor, who's asking us a question that printouts of the notes sent by the teachers, why do the students need to actually write down all the questions in the notebooks, and this becomes very time consuming. So is there a way to salvage that?
I am coming from old school of thought, okay? So where I still think, in spite of being an international school, I still think writing is compulsory. Okay, writing is very important. Well, I'll tell you one thing. See, at the end of the day, okay, they have to take the exam, okay? They have to write in the examination that you can't run away. So even if your child is doing tedious job of just writing down or copying down the question, see, there are three advantages to that. When the child is writing the question, writing the answer, it is subconsciously registering in his mind. Okay, so that is a type of revision taking place. When you're writing, your hand, fine motor skills are also being developed. So there is nothing like you write more, so you are going to be tired more. Nothing is like that. And trust me, how much will a child write? Come on, we are not teaching university level students. Okay, there are 5-6 subjects, there are 5-6 books or whatever is and more there. And as it is an international way of schooling, there is not you don't have to write 10 pages at a time, right? You will hardly write a couple of pages a day. And that also, if you don't allow your child to write, when they take the exam, okay, it is very difficult for a child to read the question, think over thoughts in their mind, to think about it and then put it on paper. That entire process is very, very difficult. So don't think that your child is going to get tired by writing. Come on, I think so. We are also very mindful about how much work we give them to write. Okay, and again, okay, so how much work we have to give, we are also thinking about that. So it's not like that we are also going to overburden the child. Of course, I can't talk about the other systems. I can't talk about other boards. I'm just speaking about my school as such. Okay, so I think so that's fine. That helps them in the exam. Okay, so it's fine, I think so.
Okay. Ma'am, another parent has asked, shouldn't there be hotline numbers?
Michelle, I'm not able to.
You cannot hear me? Ma'am, some of the parents are asking, can there be hotline numbers for the school to call, to connect with the school?
Michelle, I'm really not able to hear your question. I think so. You can type it out if not too much of a problem.
No. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
No, my dear, I don't know. No.
Okay, I'm just going to connect my my thing. Okay. Okay. So can you hear me now?
No, my dear, I'm not able to get you. Just type out the question. If you're able to hear me, that will be fine. Type it out.
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. Some parents are asking about hotline numbers.
so that parents can quickly call in case there is an issue. Can that be possible?
See, initially when we were doing this online thing, right, we made Pinnacle Task Force, okay, where the communication for the parents was very easy to reach out to somebody that, okay, this is not happening, that is not happening, okay. And now we have created different email IDs for every grade to pass on the message. So I think the email will be the best way of, like, communicating as of now, because initially, like in the morning, teachers are busy for 4 or 5 hours, like teaching, then they are preparing for the lessons for the next day, then they also have to look after, children to look after. So every time to be available on phone is not easy. Okay, it is not practically possible. Imagine a class, a strength of 25 to 30 parents, calling up the teachers every now and then for small thing, or even if it is a major thing for them, might not be, that big thing for us as such. So better communication through, I think so, mail, immediately shoot a mail, we keep our mailbox open only. We immediately get back to them. Okay, if the problem can be sorted out online, we reply to immediately. Otherwise, we also call them back. If the problem is like too big to be fixed, we also don't mind calling them at some times. But if we share the numbers, then it becomes difficult for the teachers to focus on teaching. Then most of the time she's on call. So that is not practical. And that
Right.
does not add on anything to the quality of teaching.
Absolutely. Okay. Another parent has just checked. Would the PTMs be online? Would the PTMs be online?
We have still not reached there. As I told you, like, see, our PTM, usually the first one is in the month of August. Okay, so by then, if we reopen, I would really want to meet them and hug them. Okay, if it is not reopening, we'll find a way out.
Okay. Fine. I think we've covered most of our questions, ma'am. Is there anybody else who wants to ask a quick question to Miss Deepa Gilani? Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us. The internet was not on our side today, but I think we've done pretty well. Is there any other parent who wants to ask any question? Anybody else who wants to ask any question? Okay, calling once. Okay, ma'am, I think you've answered so many of our questions today on all this. Parents have been wondering how this is going to work. It was like a big question mark in the minds of so many parents to probably gauge and see how their school is going to meet with the children's education in this era with coronavirus. But I think Pinnacle has done a fantastic system. We really like the offline videos and the online system. And I think everybody's gearing up to the best of their ability to make it possible. So we just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, parents, for being here, for bearing with us and the internet. And we all know that how daunting the internet can be. But thank you for bearing with us. Thank you, Deepa ma'am. Thank you so much for coming online.
Yeah, just
And
just a minute, Michelle.
yes,
Thank you
yes,
so
yes.
much for inviting me. I really had a great time. This is the first time I'm using Insta Live, so I've also learned something again. Okay, and it was really good to
Absolutely.
see you and all my parents as well as students out there. So yes, virtually I've been able to connect with them, and that has made me so very happy. Okay,
A lot
all
of
of y'all,
a lot of
I really love y'all and miss y'all. Like really longing to see y'all in the school. Okay, definitely God will bless us all, will guide us all, and keep all of us safe and sound. Right? Thank you
yeah.
so much again.
A
Everybody,
lot
thank
of
you.
people are messaging saying they love you, ma'am, and it just goes out to showing the great relationship that both the students and the parents share with you. So thank you for coming on to this portal. Thank you, Deepa ma'am. And I think soon the world will embrace learning anytime, anywhere concept. I think it's going to become a habit that is going to be integrated in our system, and it's going to be a true lifestyle with a different change. So thank you so much, Deepa ma'am. Really appreciate it. Thank you to all your people who've joined in this chat today. Again, forgive us for the internet issue, but I hope your questions were met, and I hope we have an enjoyable journey with online further carrying on from now.
Thank you, Deepa
Yes, yes.
ma'am, and hope to see you
Yes,
soon. Thank
same here,
you.
my dear. And I really hope we can have one more session when the things are pretty fine.
Absolutely.
Okay, when I really
Absolutely.
don't have to face such difficult questions. I can really talk about, good things in life rather than, facing difficult questions and answers were even more difficult. Right? We can definitely
But
have
ma'am,
one more session, my dear.
I think you did a fantastic job, ma'am. I think you really answered them well. It's not easy to really come and discuss this on an open forum like this. And it just speaks so much about your leadership skills and values that you've not just practicing it there, but you're practicing it to an open forum. So that really goes a long way. Thank you very much. And we hope once again to do this, like you said, a positive session once schools begin. Thank
Yes,
you
yes.
and
Thank you.
see you.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.